Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. That means tomorrow is the big day. That's right, 6 a.m. Clubhouse with the Breakfast of Champions. Join me every Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. Breakfast of Champions on Clubhouse. We, of course, have our office hours with Mike Mamula and Dave Marino. And then we, of course, have our training. Having the right mindset training is Fridays. And if you miss any of it, it's on the playbook. Download it, like it, share it. The playbook's on every platform, featured on Spotify, all of the trainings on Google, iTunes, everywhere. Castbox, it's there. Thank you. Sound great, look great. Good morning, Jake, Colleen, Rachel. Welcome. Let's get those questions rolling. Hey, Laura, it's top of the morning to you too. Mikey, let's go. Let's pin up here. If anybody needs any of the guides, exercises, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, right below, or you can text me, 949-298-2905. 949-298-2905. Great to see everyone. Frankie Bank, good to see you there. The questions are rolling in. Let's get this party started. All right. How do you get over moments of disappointment? Well, look at moments of disappointments as opportunities. Look at moments of disappointment for the light, the love, and the lessons. With everything that you anticipate, if you have faith that you're going to end up somewhere better, then the disappointment is just a turn signal, just like pain, mistakes, failures are, in order to get to somewhere better. It's a bigger door to a bigger place. So when things don't work out the way that you think they should, then go ahead and get excited about you are moving in the wrong direction and you just save time, resources, money, because you're getting to a better place. You don't know what you don't know. Remind yourself that if you're disappointed. How you remain so consistent on everything you do. Well, first of all, I wish I was consistent on everything I did, or maybe not, because I don't want to be consistent about the negative things I do. Anyway, what I am in the practice of consistency, I'm in the practice of enjoying consistency, being able to enjoy consistent, persistent behavior in the pursuit of my potential, hopefully in the positive potentials that I have, not the negative potentials that I have, because we are quantum beings with negative and positive aspects or activations that we can pursue. And unfortunately, because of segmentation acceleration, we sometimes don't see the results of the negative behavior or the positive behavior. And so because we don't see results in negative behavior, it compounds on itself and we end up in worse places. And because we can't see the accumulation of positive behavior, we quit. And that's the nuance of what you're looking at as we remain consistent in the best things that we can in the positive quantum self. Alex from Ulti Self is here. We'll be with you in a couple seconds. Give me a minute or two to answer a couple more questions here. I'm looking forward to our interview on Monday. I'm the teen entrepreneur. Oh, you think you're looking forward to it? Ask Me Anything Mondays are my favorite, and helping younger people with their dreams, aspirations, inspirations, and motivations is what I'm here for, to empower and plant seeds on those trees that I may never sit under, but knowing what they can do. Looking forward to meeting you at Bubba's Celebrity Basketball Game. That's at the end of the summer, I believe, and I will do my best to be there. DJ, good to see you. Thank you so much. All right, one more minute. We'll bring my friend Alex on, who was in Miami with me. We had just an amazing time together. What 3 tips do you have for creating a productive day? Well, I have 5 daily practices to create a productive day, which means productive, providing value. 1 is knowing my what, taking inventory of my values. 2, knowing my who, finding the right people that sit in the situation I want to be in, and knowing my how, being a student in my calendar, using the lens of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in order to effectuate the most productive day. That means being efficient, effective, and statistically successful. And then finally, knowing my now, meaning doing it now and prioritizing that now by my values, prioritizing what's most important first versus what's urgent. If you want to explore some of that logic, go ahead and look up Eisenhower's matrix of important versus urgency. And then finally, practicing ending fear, which we talked about earlier, getting and clearing the interference between me and what already exists. All right, I'm going to bring on my friend Alex here. We will get him in here. My friend Alex Necritin. He was with me in Miami, and there he is, the CEO himself. You have the same background as me.
I
Now,
was just
I
gonna
know
say
I'm not.
that we got the same Windows guy.
Exactly. It's the closet studio. So, and now I can
Uh,
hear you.
I'm just
How
on
are
the
you?
other side of the country.
Well, I wanted to have you on because you have a unique perspective about a gap of separation and interference that I love for you to share with people. And that gap that we are looking at, that interference, the void, shortage, and obstacle, is between data or information, and which is critical in the input of the conscious continuum, and action. And
Absolutely.
looking at your business and your person with Self and everything that you do, you've been able to create tools, activities, etc., to bridge the gap between what that information and data is and the actual action that is best to take according to the data or information that we receive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly. You said it much better than I can.
Wow, I love what you do, and I want to make sure everybody else does as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much it with UltiSelf is there's a ton of great info, ton of great self-development, ton of great biohacking content out there. Much of it is available even for free. I mean, like you said in Miami to the group, all my stuff is free. You can have it. But a lot of people get it, and it's just human nature. You buy it, you're excited about it, and then it goes right on your bookshelf and starts to collect dust. And, that's where we come in because that's UltiSelf really forces people to act on it.
And what are the either motivations or inspirations or catalysts that are necessary to act?
Well, we went with the science back approach. I've been fortunate enough to have a really good team at AltiSelf. We have a PhD in psychology on board, and we have a behavioral neuroscientist on our scientific advisory board. And we went with with a scientific approach. Not, up to 90% of your daily actions are habit based. So it's like we're actually kind of on autopilot without even realizing. A lot of what we do is on autopilot. And you need to look at it from that perspective, and you need to make those actions almost habitual and automatic. Essentially, it's like almost like programming yourself, right? So there's components. I mean, the basic habit components. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, right? But it's a trigger, action, and a reward. And you have your activity that you need to do. You need to have something trigger it, and then you need to get a reward for it, and that programs your brain to stick with that activity um, on a more consistent, sustainable basis. So our app actually provides that. We have push, and I think just today we're putting in text message notification triggers. So meaning if you add an activity or a habit to your app, let's say it's going to the gym, right, or taking a certain supplement, right? You want to do it at a specific time. A push notification or a text message is going to come up and nudge you to do it. That's your trigger. Then you do the activity. That's your action. And then actually just the act of checking that habit off on our tracker, that's your reward. That, believe it or not, gives you a little dopamine boost in your brain and makes it stick. So those three components are in the app. And a big thing there is also gamification. Like, big analogy that I always use is, if I suggested to you, hey, do you want to count numbers in a smoke-filled room surrounded by a bunch of strangers? Probably not exciting, but take me to any blackjack table at a casino, tact, right? Because it's a game, because there's a concept of variable reward. And that's something that we have in the app. There's a gamification. You get points. There's a weekly target for each of your activities and then habits. And then once you hit that activity, it like turns green. It gives you like a boost. So you basically, the whole idea is this becomes like a game, and when you win, you build your best self.
And with that best self, we've improved different areas from focus, productivity, creativity, confidence,
Energy.
satisfaction, which that basically improves your potential, improves your overall life. Uh, how easy though, right? So one of the things I talk about is lowering the bar. How easy to use is UltiSelf? Because one of the things that people forget about when they create these extraordinary applications and extraordinary solutions is that the user interface is crucial, that people will not use something unless the bar is so low that they don't feel that resistance, and the availability, the accessibility, the learning curve has to be so low in order to effectuate it. What have you done to contribute or align what that user interface is with what you're doing?
So it's a funny story because I took my weakness into a strength. I'm a very good sales guy. I'm a very good, like, I can talk about stuff pretty well. I can write well. I'm terrible with technology. I'm terrible with software as far as using it. Like most sales guys are, right? And and I, any product that I've ever made in my own business, like the way the website is, if I can get it and it makes sense to me, then it's gonna make sense to everybody else. But yeah, user friendly. I mean, really huge impact. We have two designers on board full time, like UI UX designers. So mega. I try to make it mega simple. Maybe you can attest to it. I mean, you've been using the app, right? It's simple. It's very
It's,
user friendly. And
I think I
go
was
ahead.
going to say you make a good point because I think part of building my own brand and where the unassuming humility or approachability or encouragement that I can give people is the same spot that you talk about with UltiSelf is that, man, if Dave Meltzer can do it, right? If Dave Meltzer can make all this money, if Dave Meltzer can do it, man, I can do it. And I always said that's what made me such a great coach when I was in college. I went down to the high school to coach, and those kids would look at me and say, if this guy, right, if this thing can play football in college, if this guy can do well, I can absolutely. So, I think it's the difference between LeBron James and Steph Curry is, everyone admires LeBron James, but he doesn't necessarily inspire a lot of kids because they look at him and it's a little bit discouraging because they look at him and say, I'll never be LeBron James, right? I
I mean,
just,
just his body is unattainable. I mean, he's like
yeah, his
the
skill,
sheer
I mean, his
size.
strength and his size and his,
Yeah.
but when you look at Steph Curry and you think about, here's a guy that went to a smaller school, here's a guy that nobody wanted and he's not that big, he's not that strong, he's not that fast, but he has all the things that UltiSelf has, right? He has improved his focus, productivity, creativity, confidence, satisfaction, and overall performance, energy beyond belief, where he was the MVP of the league even at one time and won championships. And, so many kids could identify, God, if Steph Curry can do it, I can do it. Well, that's what I think UltiSelf allows you
It,
to do as
it's
well.
really good that you're bringing him up, Dave, because I've watched some games. What he does before the game, he has a routine, and that's exactly what UltiSelf helps people do. It helps people create their optimal routine. And you watch, like, he does all this ball handling before every game. He does all these ball handling drills on the side of the court. That's his pregame routine. The key, habits get you up to a certain point, but the real key thing is a routine that you stick to every day. It's the order you do those habits. It's the time of the day you do them. And it's basically what you do day in and day out to optimize it. That's what leads to result. Consistent, as you say, consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, consistent action. And, literally this app is like a coach in your pocket. I mean, I'm in a way getting high on my own supply. I use it every day, right? It's like it's like a coach in my pocket. It gives me a reminder. I wake up. All right, here's a reminder to go and stretch, and I finish stretching, and here's a reminder to go. You could set them by specific times, so it really helps me hone in and organize. Kind of gets me focused on achieving my goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in line with finding your potential is finding your ultimate self. And that's why it's UltiSelf. It's your ultimate self and just giving you the tools to handle the 90% of what you're already doing, but just to improve upon it. So my tagline is yours, of course, and I am a huge proponent utilizing it to enhance my life in all aspects. Alex, people can find the solution at ultiself.com. It's UltiSelf.com. Anywhere else they can find you at UltiSelf? Anywhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually gonna put this right in the chat, the
Please.
ultiself.com. But it's in the App Store, on the Apple App Store. And yeah, just put in UltiSelf. We actually, we were fortunate enough to come up #1 for biohacking right now on the App Store. So I'm really proud of that accomplishment.
Well, it should be because it's easy to use and very effective. Need you say more? Easy to
Yeah,
use, very effective. I love it. I'm a new big fan of yours, Alex, and I
awesome.
can't wait
Thank
to
you.
see you. I know
Likewise.
you come on visit me. Great seeing you last week in Miami. Everybody, check out UltiSelf. It helps me consistently, persistently pursue my potential and enjoy it. It makes it fun because he understands the biomechanical, psychological aspects of how we make things fun, including a smoke-filled room, dark smoke-filled room, sit at a table all night. If they can make that fun, we can make Ulti-Self
We
fun.
can make
Thanks so much,
building your
Alex.
best fun. Yep. Thank you, David.
Go. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye
Love
bye.
it. Bye-bye. What great analogies. Alex got it down. If you just try it out, you'll see. You will improve. It has a quantifiable value in your life. D. Flores is going to download it right now. Thank you. Amazing. High recommendation. I'm looking for anything that helps me to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential. All right. Let's see if anyone has any questions for me. I know, Vanessa, you had requested to ask a question. Are you here, Vanessa? Please. If not, I'll just take it from the long list of questions that we have. Is there a big change Chungus component? I do not know what that means. Is there a big component? I don't know. Sorry, I tried. Anyway, best interviewers you've worked with. Who asked the best question? James Brown from CBS, Sage Steele, Katie Couric. There's some, pretty big. Tom Bilyeu. Just to know, Tom Bilyeu is way up there as an interviewer and announcer. Brian Rose in England. These are some of the best interviewers. Broke me down into tears. And the best interviewers ask the best questions. They ask questions that are emotionally connected and allow us to teach other people through our planning. What's the training on tomorrow? Having the right mindset. So we're having mindset training tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. We're just going to list off a whole bunch of tips for you. Who do you want the Chargers to draft? Offensive lineman. I forget the kid's name, but I'd love to see him take a left tackle. Anyway, thank you for your support, everybody. So good to see you. Keep the questions coming. What's a great icebreaker as we begin to meet with people in person again? Look, questions, right? What do you do today, right? You want to smile, look someone in the eye, ask them what are they doing today, what they like about it, what they don't like about it, would it help you if, can you see any reason you wouldn't want to move forward? Brian Rose is running for mayor of London, and I'm supporting him. A dear friend and a dear person. Janine, good to see you. Part of my private coaching group. Great, inspiring woman. Janine, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Vanessa, are you here? Because I got to get on to the next guest. Go-to karaoke song. The Hymn to the Sugar Hill Gang. Rapper's Delight. It's a long one, but I can run it off like you've never, ever witnessed. Just ask the Christmas party. Mikey Alan and I, we can go ahead and bring it on the karaoke. My wife thinks she's the karaoke queen, but we are the karaoke king. Good to see you. Lots of respect. Cool. Vanessa, we will check you out some other time. What kind of podcast do you listen to? I listen to my friends' podcasts. Listen to pieces of Rogan, but Ed Milet, Tom Bilyeu, The Skinny Confidential, one of my favorites. I love Lauren and Michael Bostic. Eminem, that's Mikey's favorite. You got one. What is it? You got one chance. What is one of your favorite plants? Cannabis? No. Bougainvillea? My favorite grass? I don't know. There's a lot of different things that I enjoy. Oh, shit. All right. Pat Doset. Yeah, are you here as well? We're looking at, we're a little bit early. Sorry. I'm getting through this. Let's keep these questions coming. Having such a good time here. What are your best communication skills? I would say my best communication skills is curiosity. Curiosity is the key to communication, understanding, being more interested than interesting, finding out what people like and they don't like, and seeing how you can be of service or value, aligned synergistically or supplementary to that. Also to see and ask through curiosity if they know anyone that can help you with your primary objectives, with what's important to you. So those are all areas of what it was. Here we go. Keep the questions coming. These are great. Can you please explain your perception of time? Thanks for the content. Wow, that's one of my favorite questions. You should be an interviewer. My perception of time is it's a man-made construct. 24 hours are constructed by man to officiate a day, to indicate a day. And everyone has 24 hours of activity within the course of that day. Now, they've also constructed when you should wake up, when you should go to bed, what you should be doing. They've defined things, occupation as work, all of these misnomers that create interferences, voids, and shortages through your own perception of time. For me, I try to get outside of the man-made construct of time and think about time as infinity or limitlessness, to understand that I own my time and that my thoughts move faster than the speed of light. Therefore, I can bend time with productivity of how much value I can provide, accessibility of what I'm accessing within the context of man-made time, and how accessible I am to others' ideas and other things that we may not be aware of, if I can let go of the man-made construct of time. And then finally, utilizing the lens of gratitude in time, that I can seek what I want within the context of time. I can seek the love that I want, the light that I want, and of course, the lessons that I want. And the more lessons that I learn, the less pain I'll have, and the more growth, acceleration, and expansion I will be able to experience. I will elevate myself to elevate others. I will also be able to raise my frequency to a level of awareness, to understand time at even a more consistent means, so that my understanding and awareness is directly relative to that time, and all that sits within the context of time is relative to it. Time is an extraordinary thing to study, but first you need to, I think, understand the man-made construct of time and how to utilize it, and then step outside of that and utilize a higher level of thinking, a higher level of frequency, a higher level of vibration, raising your awareness to limitlessness and infinity, bending time with your most powerful thing that you have, which is a higher power of thinking. The speed of thought is proven to move faster than the speed of light. Therefore, you can utilize time in a different manner than most people. You can utilize time just like Elon Musk, how he utilizes time must be an extraordinary lesson to learn. And so I'm studying those type of peoples like the Elon Musk, and seeing how exactly they're utilizing time to effectuate an extraordinary amount of productivity that we haven't seen before. So, all right, let me see if I have Ryan Patrick's here. What's up, Ryan Patrick? Is my friend? I'm looking for someone to join me. Laura, I appreciate all your beautiful comments. You are a beautiful woman inside and out. I love you. I adore you. You're always here and so positive and so supportive. You only deserve the best in the world of limitlessness and infinity. May I pray for your happiness and everyone around you. You deserve to be so happy as everyone does, but really looking for that. All right, let me see here. At Made For, are you here today? Let me see where I'm at. So many people coming in. Thank you. I'm trying to stay focused. I need ulti self. Here we go. Does anything piss you off, and what is it? Oh my goodness, things upset me. So they upset me. There's tons of triggers that need to be right, need to be offended. Separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful are all triggers. And I just stop, drop, and roll. There he is. What's going on?
How's it going, brother? Good to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Oh, man. Well, I am so excited to hear. We have our Made For 10-month program. So there's so many different programs out there and so many work. I always say that, the best programs are the ones that can actually get people to do the program and stick
That's
to
it.
it. So what do you do for the Made For program? What do you do to get people to start and stick to it?
That's it. Well, I think you honed in on the most important part, and I tell our members this all the time: is that without the work, if you don't do the work, the program doesn't work. And so we put together a team of world-class scientists, advisors. We spend a lot of time and attention on building this program and making sure that we focus people's effort and attention in ways that are not only doable, but they're effective, and that they deliver lasting returns for people and help people change for good in a lasting way. But without people's effort, it doesn't work. And so our program is maybe a little bit different than other things that have been on the market before. We focus on offline change first. And so there's a physical experience with the Made For program where we deliver curated science, tools, steps, and then really wrap around a whole ecosystem of support for our members to be able to encourage them and get them into action in small but really effective ways over a sustained period of time. And that's really the secret to what we do. I designed the program alongside a team of, again, world-class experts. A gentleman named Dr. Andrew Huberman is a neuroscientist out of Stanford, Sam Hattar from the National Institute of Mental Health, John Rady from Harvard University, psychiatrist. And we really focused on how can we deliver to people the smallest steps possible that map to what all of the science says. And we save you the effort. You don't have to go read all the books, or you don't have to go do the research. We just give you the essential steps so that you can help grow what's good inside you. And I think that's something else that is different about us, is that we focus people's effort on positive pursuits. We don't tell people, stop doing this, avoid that. We focus instead on what are the things that you can be in pursuit of that help you feel better. And we do that in small but really effective ways.
And you also worked with the Navy SEALs. And how was that effective in trying to figure out how best to allow people to adopt and maintain the appropriate, programmatic behavior in order to effectuate the maximum results?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I had the fortunate honor of serving in the SEAL teams for just over 9 years, and worked with some of the most amazing quiet professionals on the planet. And one of the things that really struck me about my time in the teams was that my SEAL training class started with 220 people. 5 weeks in, we were down to 150. 6 weeks in, we were down to 36, and ended up graduating 17 people in that original class. Now, what's I think many find surprising is that those 17 people were rather unremarkable. You wouldn't have been able to pick them out from a lineup, but in fact, all of the biggest, fastest, strongest people, those that most looked the part, were some of the first to go away and decide that they couldn't continue with SEAL training. So what that told me was there is something going on, whether it's as it relates to mindset, that allows people to perform at really high levels and push their brains and body to places that maybe we traditionally don't think is possible. So I took that and just grew more and more appreciative of how much mindset matters. Fast forward a couple of years, I was going through a graduate program, and I was introduced to the work of this whole field of positive psychology and how you can be you can focus on minimizing downside risk and negative outcomes and reducing bad behaviors. But the other side of the equation is, what are the things you can focus on that help you cultivate the behaviors, the mindsets, and things that you can change in your environment that help you grow what's good inside you. So what I found fascinating about that course and a lot of the science and research in that area is that it mapped exactly to what I saw SEALs leveraging in the teams. And so Made For, in some senses, a continuation of my experience, but married with the science and the expertise for people that have really the deep domain expertise in all the areas that we focus on. So
one of the things, being in a synergistic space to you, understanding mindset, studying the most I can every day for a minimum of an hour and a half. And I think that I was born with a mule gene. That's what I call the difference. And, you have to have this certain gene in you that gives you that ability, like yourself, to graduate from the Naval Academy. Just so you know, the two toughest people that I ever played football with, both were all CIF in California in high school. Both dropped out of the Naval Academy, and one went to Columbia, and one played at Columbia, and one played at Occidental after they dropped out, and were all American in the normal NCAA function of football. Amazing. But could not handle the Naval Academy. And then you were an All-American boxer team captain, 9 years in the Navy SEAL, dealing with all these high-level people. How do we transcode, or how do we translate the higher level of information, the higher level of understanding through experiential and astute academic study, which is that blend that you need in order to be and have the success that you've had? But how do we take an apathetic 20-year-old who maybe smokes a lot of pot, plays video games, and somehow communicate to them to not only motivate them to get started, but to inspire them to continue to aggregate the internal seeds that you're talking about to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if that area, those people that are transcoders and translators that have the capacity of highly complex information, but are capable of transcoding it down into that 20-year-old, which may be more popular than the other mule genetic people out there. How have you found, or have you searched, or do you think there's importance to this type of transcoding or translation?
Yeah, it's such a great question, and I think I'd start by saying, and I think you would agree with this, that rarely is more information the thing that prohibits progress, right? We intuitively know what we're supposed to do. It's just a matter of, can we get the motivation to do it? And is that motivation intrinsic? Is it coming from inside us, or is it coming from forces outside of us? And I think what the science would say and the research would say is that to the degree that you can generate intrinsic motivation, so internally motivated to pursue something, then you're going to have greater impacts and a longer ability to stick to something. And so certainly the case with people in SEAL training, that those people that were there at the end had something on the inside that they could grip down on, and that incentivized them to stick with it and commit. So for that 20-year-old that maybe lacks the motivation or is floundering in some respects, I think the starting point is really helping them understand that, look, you have complete agency and control over your situation. Where do you want to go with your life? Like, what do you want to do? Whether it's a mission, a purpose, whatever just gets your kicks going, what is that thing? And is that thing sustainable? So is the thing that gets your kicks, is it getting high on Saturday night? Great. Okay, if that's your thing, fine, that's okay. But the lifespan on that and the duration of that is fairly short-lived. You're not creating value outside of that experience. And so what I try to do with our members is to think about, what's the long game here? What is it that I care about? Why do I care about that? Why is that exciting to me? And why is that worth my effort? So that's the starting point, is whether you call it a mission or an intention or a focus or a purpose, start with that, help someone connect from the inside out to what that is. And then start by focusing on what's the smallest step possible that you can get someone to take where they will see a benefit and a return on their effort. And if you can isolate what that is and find that entry point, very quickly positive momentum can build for someone. And so you can take someone that maybe appears to be maybe where they're at and where they expect to be, or where they wish they were. Maybe the gap between those two places is too far, and they can't think about, well, how can I possibly close that gap in one giant step? It's not possible. Don't focus on that. Focus on what's the smallest step that I can take right now that delivers real return, and then let that be the thing that leads to the next step. And so I know you're a big proponent of, from Connected to Goodness in the book, which I thought was amazing, is this idea of, like, you got to be in action. Like, you can't just be a passive observer in your life. Like, you have to be connected to what you do, be in action. And I think the same holds true in this situation.
It's so ironic. We just went through 420, and I was thinking about the ironic thing about the only discipline that smoking pot has is that, these high school guys in California decided that they'd smoke pot at 4:20 p.m. every day. And it's so counterintuitive to think that that's what drove them. And I always wonder what happened to those guys that created this huge movement by doing something every single day at the same time. They're literally so close to really, being able to utilize something that's so motivational. I thought that was really, really good.
It's funny, I was going to say on that, I always like to tell people, and I know that, whether it's psychedelics or it's, whatever the thing that's in vogue, is just be mindful of, I like to frame it as, these are plants, they're not trees, right? So if you lean against a plant, you lean against a flower, and you want to, lean into it, you lean into it hard enough, you're going to fall over. You find a tree that you can lean up against, it's stable, it's firm, and it allows you to stand on your feet. And so don't confuse those two things, because rarely, I think, is progress made when you're engaging in behaviors like that. So, yeah,
it's aggregate behavior works in the negative favor, as I always say. And so, because you don't see the result for so long, that if you're doing something negative for a long period of time, it's too late when the results come out. And the problem with the positive behavior is it takes long for the result to come out, so we quit. We want that instant gratification. And so you have to figure out how to enjoy the consistent behavior, the consistent positive behavior, the consistent persistent positive pursuit. And we get the exponential results that you have experienced, and we want for so many other people to have in their lives, to live fulfilled, purposeful, passionate, and profitable lives. I know everybody can find you at Made For, but where else can they find you, Pat?
You can find the company at Made For. You can find me at Made For _Pat. And I think my handle is on this. And yeah, our website, www.getmadefor.com. Check us out. You know, what I like to tell people is, especially over the course of the past year, right? We've been working with thousands of people all across the country from ages 17 to 82. And I think what surprises people is that we direct people's attention and effort in very small ways. Oftentimes they're things that you're already doing, but the manner in which we've designed the program and built it allows you to reward the process, reward the effort, so that the outcomes take care of themselves. And, you know, we focus on foundational practices like hydration and gratitude and nature and social connection and movement. It's not just we're not focused on one dimension, we're focused on all of the dimensions and how they sum to great effect. And so, yeah, if you're in a place that you need a little bit of support or want to put our team on our side, check out our website, and we'd love to serve you.
Yeah, they utilize the mathematical equation of luck. Pay attention to plus intention, and you will have the coincidences you want in your life. And thank you so much for elevating others to elevate yourself. I'll talk to you soon. Please come back and visit me, okay, Pat?
Great. Enjoyed it. Thanks so much, Dave. Have a great week.
Enjoyed Cheers. You. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. What a stud. Oh, my gosh. Do you want to learn what's special? Then be special, and transcode that. All right, tomorrow's training is about the right mindset, and people like Pat Dossett, he has the right mindset at Made For. Just incredible people. Alex, Vanessa, Pat, great to have you all here today. Let's take one more question, and we will be, let me see here. There's so many questions. Thank you for putting them in there. Mondays, ask me anything. So I don't answer your questions today. Come on to training tomorrow. Ask me questions. The playbook, download it. You can hear a lot of this stuff. It's free, like my book. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll send you my book, sign it, ship it to you, david@dmeltzer.com. Just reach out to me. Sir, can I do a long-term business in vegetables? Sure. That's easy. Let me get a different question. There's so many questions in here. Who were your favorite sports teams growing up? Well, initially, it was the Cavaliers, Indians, and Browns. I moved to San Diego, and it became the Chargers and the Padres and the Clippers. And then the Clippers moved from San Diego to LA, and it became the Lakers. Those are my favorite teams. I still have a place in my heart for all the cities I lived in. So places like the Saints, the Dolphins, the Washington football team. It's just extraordinary. Ohio State Buckeyes is my favorite college team. My parents went to Ohio State, my aunt. So anyways, everybody, please join me. Reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you would like my book, david@dmeltzer.com. Join my text community if you like what you hear, 949-298-2905. Join me for trainings. Download the playbook. There's so much there. Just pick one of them and do it. david@dmeltzer.com. That's a good place to start. Remember, everybody, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I'll see you tomorrow.